Our story starts 7 p.m. February 20th. Josh, the lead dev at Gimkit, had just started a game night to showcase and playtest the new mode they had created. It was called Snowy Survival. At first, it was mainly infection tag. The games had snowball launchers, and after a minute, a few people would randomly become cursed. Obtaining what is known as the frozen mummy skin in the files, they would run around and try to tag people. Last person alive won. Then it changed, so everyone had snowball launchers. Finally, in the final edition, only the cursed had snowball launchers. It seemed like this would be the entire game. All that changed when the game was actually released. Upon release, the map had now been split into 5 segments. The original snowy paths surrounded by fences. In the bottom right, a vortex office. Bottom left, Fishtopia Pond. In the top left, an echo office, and in the top right was a farm plot. At first look, these were random additions. However, very quickly, new things were discovered. Let's start with the vortex and echo offices. In each of them were filing cabinets, one openable for each side. They each contained notes. The Echo cabinet, labeled Project Map Research, contained a note. It read, "When we arrived, I was confused about what was happening because this place is different from any place I've been before. There is snow, sand, dirt, all in the same area, which doesn't seem to make sense. While trying to figure out what's going on, I keep seeing the term Project Map appear, but I don't know what it means. I wonder if there's a map that could help me find answers. However, with the curse roaming around in Vortex nearby, I can't do research as carefully as I would like. Despite the challenges, I believe there must be a reason why we're all here, right?" The Vortex cabinet, labeled Suspicious Farm Activity, contained this note. "After realizing that our own agents can be cursed, I started to wonder what the other potential dangers are that we may face. Recently, while in the farming area, I noticed some peculiar occurrences that I can't quite explain. The longer I stayed in that area, the more unusual I felt, as though I was being affected in a strange and corrupt way. Upon discussing this with others, I discovered that they did not experience similar effect. However, as a precautionary measure, I suggest that all agents avoid the farming area until we can determine the cause of these occurrences. I'm concerned that this may be a result of some advanced technology from Echo, and hope that it's not the case." Currently, nothing more is known of the details described here. However, this was not all the Snowy Survival map contained. At the pond, you could get bait by answering questions, much like Fishtopia. However, when fishing, there were different shops and different chances for them. Meanwhile, in the farm, you could plant various fishes and energy for things like snowball launchers, med packs, and shield cans. But more importantly, you could get the golden key. Costing a gimfish and taking 1 minute to grow, the key was a crucial part in going to the next step of the lore, because with 10 keys, you were able to unlock the vault. But more on that in a second. Meanwhile, on the other maps, updates were being released. In Farm Chain, a note about Rocky West, the owner of the farm, was found in the research room. Research note number 8311. "Look, I know the boss wants me focused on increasing production. However, I can't help but wonder about the biology of the boss himself. His outer shell seems to be a sort of rock formation. Is it natural, or is there something going on underneath? I would ask him, but questioning your boss on why they look the way they do. Yeah, not the best look." Additionally, Cash Tycoon, the homework-only game mode, was noticed to have a vault with a briefcase on it, labeled File 149C. But most importantly, Tag had also been updated. A key was added to the Vortex table in the negotiations room at the bottom of the map. The key would open a filing cabinet on the Vortex side labeled Echo Intel. It contained a note describing a number of encrypted Echo passwords on screen and in the description. We'll come back to that later, and you'll see why. Anyways, the vault in Snowy Survival could be opened with 10 gold keys, and once it was opened, you were prompted with a note displayed on screen. Message from the crafter. "Vesper, if you're reading this, it means the experiment worked. You know how sometimes you vaguely remember past experiences, but then it feels like you're starting fresh when you wake up? Well, I'm writing this note in the past, and if you're reading it now, that means communication between our existences somehow survived. This note has survived unique existences. Vesper, please try to send a signal back. If I hear from you, it would change everything." While we currently aren't sure what this means, it has significant implications that we'll get into later in the video. However, that's not all. Once the vault is opened, it will disappear and a few new things will be unlocked. 1. The console thing will play a message in Morse code. The message is error.invalidMessage. However, there is also a computer that suddenly becomes interactive. It'll open up requiring a password, and you get 10 tries before it locks you out for the rest of the game. The password is likely something from the note from Echo, however, we aren't sure of much more. A hint was received from Josh, but nobody has found the password yet. If you can think of something, feel free to comment or join the Discord server and help us figure it out. Now that we've summed up all the lore, let's get into some of my theories. For one, the controller. I'm not sure whether the filing cabinet labeled the controller is new or not, so I don't really know if it's relevant to the lore, at least the current stuff. However, I'm going to take a gander and assume that it is. As you can see in the picture on screen, There are a number of different things on this console. This is also the console that will output the Morse code. Most importantly is the GIM picture though. You can see a small GIM in the bottom middle with some lines of text and a logo, along with some other statisticky looking things like graphs. This seems like it's some sort of monitoring system, and given the name the controller, plus the GIM on the console, I'm guessing that it is a GIM controller. Another theory has to do with Vesper in the notes. It's likely either the unreleased astronaut in the files, or the hamster that was just released. However, once again, just a theory. There's also a new game mode releasing, hopefully in the next month or so, and there's a few things we know about it. One, it'll be in space, given an update from Josh. We also have a picture of some sort of thing that'll appear in the next game mode, sent by Josh in the Game Night chat. It's speculated to be a broken capsule, perhaps something containing a GIM or disease. We don't know the size, but given the glass on the outside, something broke out, not in. Looking at the unreleased GIMs, there are only two that we could think of that would have broken out. One, the hamster, and two, the astronaut. Either that, or there could just be something that hasn't released yet because they want to keep it a secret. Could be an alien, given the next space-themed game mode. Who knows? Hopefully, we'll also receive clues about the Crafter and Vesper when the game mode and the astronaut are released. However, once again, we aren't sure about anything. That's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.